So here we are. So we went to Mahogany Books. It's a Black store. It's in near Potomac, Washington, in DC. And I knew I wanted this book. So I got Score by Kennedy Ryan. And it's autographed, you guys. I wanted to get this book at a Black owned bookstore. So I'm very excited about that. If you don't know what Score is about, I don't know where you've been. But this is a part of the Harlem exclusive edition. It's about Hollywood. Kennedy Ryan. It has a lot to do with like health issues, it's love stories, all the twists and turns. So I'm very excited to read this. And the other books, I have the first book, and then the other two books I have digitally, and then this one. And at Frederick Douglass's home, I got My Bondage and My Freedom by Frederick Douglass. He has three books, three autobiographies. I read the first one in college, and then I never read this one, and there's another one after this one. So I really wanted to read that. So this is the next one. It's about him like escaping and everything, and his wife. So I hadn't gotten into that section, so I wanted to read that. And if you guys have an opportunity to go to Frederick Douglass' house and visit, it is only $1 to make your reservation. I would highly recommend it. And also they are looking for volunteers, for people to volunteer to do the tours there. So if you are someone that has time and you live in this area, and you want to get back to your community, this would be very great to be able to get back to your community by volunteering at the Frederick Douglass house. It is a beautiful home, so check it out. Then we went to Mount Vernon, where George Washington lived. Another couple at Frederick Douglass's house on the tour suggested Mount Vernon, and I was able to get a couple books there at a thrift store. I think it was called Thrift Village. We just stopped on the way, and this is Frederick Bachman, Beartown. And I got this one, and then I noticed that this one also, and I didn't want to get. I was debating this, Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. I know that's backwards, but I was debating whether I should get this one because it's a hard copy and I'm flying back, but I think it'll be fine. Beartown is about, it says this is about a girl that has been traumatized, and the town and the game. I think it's hockey, and it looks like hockey players are on the front of it. So this book was $1.41. Now, at my like Goodwill Savers and stuff like this would be like $2 or $3. No, probably $3 or $4. And hardbacks are definitely like $3.99, $4.99. So, and they're both in really good condition. So I said, why not? I know he's a beloved author by a lot of people, but some people don't like him because these are translation, I believe, because he has a different language. The author Jojo Moyes compared this to Friday Night Lights. I love Friday Night Lights. So this is also about Beartown. So that's why I got this and this together. And this one was $1.91. So really good. And I know these were all the rage last year. And if you ever want to read books, and you think, hey, I can't afford to own books, or I can't afford this, or I can't afford that, just wait time, and they will be affordable. You'll find them, whether it's a Facebook group, a thrift store, anything like that. You'll definitely find them. Well, you guys, I'm about to get ready for bed. You have a lovely day. Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. I have pictures from sailboats and yachts and stuff. It looks cool.
I'm sitting on Frederick Douglass's porch.
That's a picture. I'm like, no, that's being on the beach with my phone.
This is beautiful, y'all.
We went to Manila, and then we went to...
So proud. Hey, y'all. This is Brandy again. Brandy. I'm just back with another video, basically talking about my June reads. I have been outside in June, and I know it's the middle of the month of July, but summer just gets away from me. I don't know what it is about summer, but you know, it just gets away. So I did read some good books in June. I read Back to You, a little, I would call it a very slow romance, pretty clean. And then I also read The Summer Girlfriend, I believe it's called. Yes, The Summer Girlfriend by Christina Forrest. That was good. I'm looking at my Kindle, y'all. That was a good read. It did have a little spice, but not too much spice. If you like books that don't have a lot of spice, I would suggest The Summer Girlfriend. It's about this, I don't want to call him a mogul, but he's a wealthy, a business has been in his family for generations, and you know, it's a fake dating trope. So that was really good, and I enjoyed that. I am trying to get away from the stars. I don't know if you guys, how you guys feel about the whole star situation, because for me, I like the way I judge books has changed. Since I started doing reviews, the way I judge books have changed. So when I first started doing reviews, you know, I would just rate them based on how I felt about the book at that time. But I realized, being a mood reader, I'm a mood reader, right? So I like to read books based on my mood. That could be a very good book at that time, but maybe my mind was just not in the place to read that book. Don't y'all like how I talk with my hands? My mind wasn't in the place to read that book. So what happens is, oh, you know, and I left my yarn inside. Oh no. What happens is that, you know, I will rate it less or rate it. So what I've started to do is rate books according to what they are. So if you're in a fantasy category and I read a fantasy, then I'm gonna rate it towards what that fantasy is. Or if, you know, I'm gonna rate it against other fantasy books that I've read. Or if I'm in a historical book, I'm gonna rate against other historical books I've read. Or so that's how I've started to do, just to give it a more of a fair assessment. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I do not like to read depressing books. I do not like to read I do not like to read books that are don't have a happy ending. It can be depressing, but you know, if it has a happy ending, but that's not reality. So I try to, based on what the book is, place it for what it is. Like if it's a 5-star, so all of my 5 stars that I rate a 5-star is a book that I would read again, no matter what it is what I would rate it again. And the only 5 stars that I have read this year during my mid-year assessment is The Correspondent. I read The Correspondent. I loved it to death. And I read The Pearl by John Steinbeck. The Correspondent was so good. It has something to me for every age group, and the letters allowed us to see her as a character as well as the other characters. But it just hit me so deeply, and the characters stayed with me. So that's what's important also for a 5-star for me, is that the characters stay with me. I don't forget them. Now, I did forget her name, but I don't forget the characters. And then The Pearl by John Steinbeck, it has stayed with me. It has stayed with me, and I think one of the reasons it stayed with me is because of greed. Even though that is a different time frame, or was written in a different time frame, what greed does for people and what need does for people has stayed the same. But it's a very short book. It's only like 90 pages. But to put so much into 90 pages that I'm still thinking about the characters months later is amazing to me. And y'all probably see this in another video. I bought this one. East of Eden, because The Grapes of Wrath is my favorite book. And I read The Pearl. That was the other. So I read The Pearl, I read The Grapes of Wrath, and I read Mice and Men. All of those 5-star for me. 5-star for me. So then I have two more 5-stars that I read this year, and that is the Capri series and the Capone series by Jaquel J. This is urban fiction. Now, if you like fast-paced, high energy, action, love stories, and political intrigue, you will love Jaquel J's books, especially these series. So it's a series of like 4 books, which features the Delgado family. I think it's 3 or 4. So there's Capone, there's Capadonna, and there's Capri. So 3 books. But there's other interconnected series in addition to that. So I just loved it. The characters stayed with me. They were funny. They were hilarious. It was easy for me to read because it doesn't use a lot of I don't want to say hard to read terms, and it's spoken in a language that I understand. And I ate it up. I ate that up. And then in addition to that, if you like Breaking Bad, Power, The Wire, The Sopranos, any of those kind of, The Shy, any of those kind of shows, you will definitely love this. And I mean, these books are not like 150-page books. These books are substantial, like 300 and some pages, and I can finish them in like a day and a half or a day. So, and I work. So, yeah, I definitely recommend these books. And I've even seen that there's a male following with these books. So, it's very good. And a lot of times I had stopped reading urban fiction, actually. Just to be completely honest. I graduated with English degree. I read the classics. I've read, other Donald Goines, other books like urban fiction. But I had stopped reading urban fiction because it seemed to be like a system of laziness when it came to urban fiction, as if we were just writing it and submitting it without. Most of them are self-published, right? So most of the urban fiction books are self-published, and what you find, I don't expect it to be like completely correct English, but like the wording or the misspelled words, and not like Their Eyes Are Watching God. I don't know if you've ever read that. That's all written in diction, phonetically, but it wasn't like that. It's like spelling the T-E and things like that. And so I needed something better. I don't get that with Jaquel J's books. There might be a few misspelled words here or there, but it's very well written. Very well written. No complaints whatsoever about that. You can tell she's a smart woman, you know, that has went to school and graduated, you know, with some kind of understanding of the English language. So I do appreciate that. And the quality of time that she puts into the books, the expressions, the feelings, emotions that she gives the characters, love that down. So I would definitely recommend her to anybody that likes the urban fiction world. So yes, so this month I have been outside. We went to Washington, me and my husband. I got to experience, and I'll insert some of the videos here just to show you guys some of the different things that we experienced in Washington. It was nice to see things that I have paid for. Like, we all pay taxes, and our ancestors have paid for, and you know, and also it was nice to see, we went on during Juneteenth, so it was nice to go to the African American Museum during that time. Frederick Douglass's house, a writer, so yeah, I appreciated that. And it gave me a deep appreciation for everything that was done in the past to get us where we are now. And it also gave me a reflection of what I need to do to prepare the next generation coming up after us, my children, my grandchildren, and the expectations that they need to have as well to carry on this legacy of making the world a better place. You know, there were so many struggles that people of color had to go through, and women. We went to the Holocaust Museum as well. And, you know, people of different religions went through to get us where we are today. And sometimes I think that people forget where they come from or where their history came from in the past, and they just want to be like, oh, you know, let's talk about the past. I hate history, this and that and the other. But at the end of the day, if you don't remember your history, you're more likely to repeat it. So I really enjoyed my time there, and I definitely want to go back. And there's a whole bunch of museums there, you guys, and a lot of them are free 99. So it's a great opportunity to just take advantage of it. And then I do have a suggestion. Now, traveling is expensive, y'all. It's expensive. And we had originally planned to go before 2020, and then the 2020 thing hit, so we didn't end up going to Washington. Well, looking at the prices to stay in Washington, D.C. was just ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not staying at a place that has bed bugs and where I might get robbed. So I was not staying there. I was not staying at scary looking places, right? So what we did was we stayed in Virginia, where the hotels were a lot more affordable. You know, paying $1,000 a night, $800 a night to stay in DC, you know, that's just not affordable. And I think that it should be something that's available to everybody. And Virginia is like right outside of DC. So when you say right outside, it means like the next city over. So you have the opportunity to rent a car, which would be cheaper, pay like $200 and something a night, or $200, and then drive into Washington, D.C. That's just my little tip, because I'm always trying to save money.